Hi, it's Miss Lisa from the St. Paris Public Library. Today's Anytime story is called Our Amazing Continent. Good Morning, Africa. This looks like a good book. If you woke up in Africa, you might see a cheetah or a gorilla, or you might see a bridge and a city skyline. Africa is a beautiful place with many different sights. The Atlantic Ocean splashes up on the west coast of Africa, and the Indian Ocean helps shape the east coast. The equator, an imaginary line around the middle of the earth, runs through the middle of the continent. Anything above the equator is said to be in the northern hemisphere. Anything below it is the southern hemisphere. Places along the equator are warm all year long because they are closest to the sun's rays. Africa has many countries. A country is an area ruled by a government. Africa has 53 countries, more than any other continent. The Sahara Desert is in Africa. It's the largest desert on Earth. The Sahara is almost as big as the United States. Its air is hot, windy, and dry. When an area of land gets less than 10 inches of water a year, it's a desert. The Sahara gets less than 4 inches. The Namib is another desert in Africa. Namib means place of nothingness. It could seem that way during the day, when most desert creatures rest in burrows out of the sun, but many animals, like the fennec fox, hunt and play at night when it's cooler. They have adapted to life in the desert. The big ears of a fennec fox help cool its body. Africa has savannas. A savanna is a grassy land with only a few trees. The African savanna is the biggest place on earth to see herds of large wild animals. Elephants, antelopes, zebras, and wildebeest live in large herds. These animal herds create a lot of droppings. Animal droppings are also called dung. Dung beetles cut pieces of droppings and roll them into plum-sized balls. The beetles lay one egg on each dung ball. When the egg hatches, the young beetle eats the dung. Dung beetles are the savanna's cleanup crew. Africa has some wet places. Tropical rainforests are wet and green year-round. Africa's largest rainforest is in Zaire in the center of Africa. Elephants, leopards, parrots, gorillas, and chimpanzees are just a few of the animals that live in these forests. Rainy seasons and dry seasons are a part of life in Africa. In the rainy season, water holes can grow as large as lakes. Grass grows, river floods. Some fish, frog, and insect eggs are hatched by the rain. These animals quickly lay their eggs, which might have to wait years until enough rainfall helps them hatch. In the dry season, grass dies, ponds shrink. People and animals must go farther for water. They are always glad when the rain returns. Africa has rivers and wetlands. The Nile River is the longest river in the world. It runs south to north from Uganda to Egypt through the Sahara Desert. Green farmlands and wetlands border the river. Farmers use river water for their crops. When the river floods, it spreads rich black soil on the land. This soil is good for farming. Africa has beaches, coast, and marshes. Africa has many kinds of seashores. It has sandy beaches, rocky shores, mangrove swamps, and grassy marshes. One area in Namibia, called Skeleton Coast, is named for the shipwrecks and the dead ocean animals that the Atlantic current pushes to the shore. Manatees live near the coast of western Africa. Africa has mountains. Most of Africa has warm or hot weather, but it's cool up on Africa's mountains. Africa's most famous mountain is the snow-capped volcano, Mount Kilimanjaro. The Great Rift Valley in East Africa is a huge crack in the earth. In places, waterfalls spill over its cliffs. At Victoria Falls, the Zambezi River becomes a huge sheet of water falling over a bed of lava. Most of Africa's lakes are in the Great Rift Valley. Lake Victoria is Africa's biggest lake and the second largest in the world. Some African lakes would not be good for swimming. Africa's soda lakes are full of natural chemicals that can burn your skin. Flamingos eat tiny algae and bacteria that live in soda lakes. The continent of Africa has islands, including the Canary Islands and the island of Madagascar. The islands are connected to the continent by underwater rock shelves. The island of Madagascar is the fourth largest island in the world. Many of its plants and animals live nowhere else in the world. Africa has big cities and small villages. Some Africans live in large cities with cars, cell phones, computers, and everything else that makes the modern world run. They work in offices and buy their food at grocery stores. Other Africans live in small villages. They know everyone in their village. They hunt, fish, and grow their own food. They get water from a well or river. They may walk or bicycle everywhere they go. An entire village may have only a few telephones, cars, or television sets, if they have them at all. Africa is home to many people. African peoples speak many different languages. Their customs vary from region to region. Some people wear dark clothes every day. Others wear bright patterned clothes. Meals, houses, religions, songs, and dances are different from one part of Africa to another. Africa is a wondrous continent, home to people who love it. How do you get to know the face of a continent? Books are one way. This book is about the natural features of a continent. Maps are another way. You can discover the heights of mountains and the depths of valleys by looking at a topographical map. A political map will show you the outlines of countries and locations of cities and towns. Globes are a third way to learn about the land you live on. Because globes are Earth-shaped, they show more accurately how big continents are and where they are. Maps show on Earth that it is squashed flat, so the position and sizes of continents are slightly distorted. A globe can help you imagine what an astronaut sees when looking at our planet from space. Perhaps one day you'll fly into space and see it for yourself. Then you can gaze down at the brown faces of continents and the blues of the oceans and the white clouds floating around the earth. Our amazing continents. Good morning, Africa.